What's up, YouTube? Team Movies here. With the release of the new film titled Corporate Animals out now, since it stars people like Ed Helms and all, it also stars the always great Demi Moore. Who, by the way, Demi Moore has literally reached in her. Oh, pretty good. Anyway, told you guys I'm popular. But yeah, Demi Moore is in her 50s, and that woman still looks great. I'm not gonna lie. And crazy how she dated it's kind of crazy how she it is crazy. Sorry about that. It is crazy how Demi Moore dated Bruce Willis and Ashton Kutcher. I mean, I'm not going to talk about her personal life or anything because that's her business, but it's a bit of a stretch. But anyway, with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Demi Moore movies. Alright, number 10, it's actually more of a guilty pleasure. My number 10 pick is going to Striptease. Now, crazy that in the 90s we had two interesting strip-based movies. We had Showgirls. Who didn't love Showgirls? I mean, Showgirls, Berkeley, and then we had Striptease. You know, Demi Moore as a stripper play. In it, Demi Moore plays this woman named Erin who has just gotten a divorce from her ex-con named Donnell, played by Robert Patrick, and he's like an ex-con that she foolishly married. And so however, the judge's memories of Daryl's days as the football hero ends up winning him custody of their daughter. So Erin is concerned for her child's safety. So she's determined to fight the decision. So she also just lost her job as security for the FBI. So in order to take her to pretty much to pay her bills, she decides to get a job as a exotic dancer at this strip club called Eager Beaver. And so she has really no experience and all, so she ends up making friends with fellow dancers as well as finding a protector in the club by a good-hearted bouncer named Chad, played by Ving Rhames. And she also makes a few friends among the regulars at the place, including pretty much also include this drunken, bombless sleaze guy named David Dilbeck, played by Burt Reynolds. And it's kind of a dumb film. I mean, but it's one of my guilty pleasures. I probably still prefer Showgirls over this, but Striptease is not what I have bad. The movie does not have great critics ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, but I get a kick out of Striptease. Come on, you got Burt Reynolds, Ving Rhames, Demi Moore, Robert Patrick. What more can you ask for? And of course, she's trying to find a way to get custody of her kid, and she's interesting. She goes from an FBI agent to becoming a stripper. That's kind of a weird connection there. But Striptease, if you guys never seen Striptease by now, it's a really good one. Alright. Now, coming in at number 9 is going to Innocent Proposal. Now, this is a very erotic, exotic-based film. And it's directed by Adrienne Land, who also gave us stuff like Bay Attractions and all that. I mean, Innocent Proposal is one very risque film. In the film, Demi Moore's character Diane is married to her high school sweetheart named David Murphy, played by Woody Harrelson, and they lose a significant amount of money gambling in Las Vegas. But they end up meeting this wealthy man named John Gage, played by Robert Redford, and he offers the couple $1 million to spend one night. And he offers the couple $1 million so he could spend one night with Diane. And so there's tensions that happens between both Diane and John, and so means that Diane and Murphy's and David's relationship are like in the balance and all. It's it's an interesting flick. Like it's pretty erotic. I mean, this was a better version of 50 Shades of Grey. I'll put it there. It was yeah, it was much better than 50 Shades, obviously. But also, I really quite like the romantic chemistry between Moore and Redford. Those two work together pretty well. And if you guys haven't seen Innocent Proposal yet, it's a really good one. All right, coming in at all right, number 8 is Bobby. Now, this movie, like, it's directed by Emilio Estevez, who of course worked with Demi Moore loads of times. Like, the cast in Bobby is insane. You got people like Anthony Hopkins, William H. Macy, Freddie Rodriguez, Lindsay Lohan, Ashton Kutcher. You've got Sharon Stone, Shia LaBeouf is in this. I mean, some really interesting cast members. I mean, probably one of the biggest cast members I've seen. And in it, Demi Moore, plays this. She plays this like singer named Virginia Fallon, who pretty much is like a singer in the Ambassador Hotel, and she has like serious problems with alcohol. And her husband, named Tim, played by Emilio Estevez, is a Kane supporter, and he's also her manager. And I mean, the character of Virginia Fallon is a really missable character. I mean, you mainly see her like she'll be singing once in a while. Then one part you'll see her doing doing drugs and drinking, and she drinks a lot. Actually, she drinks more than drugs. But yeah, Bobby, I really love. I mean, sadly, it is about the wake of the JFK assassination at the Ambassador Hotel. But it's more about the staffers more than Kennedy. But I still really got a kick out of Bobby. If you guys never seen Bobby, directed by Emilio Estevez, amazing cast, go check out Bobby. It's a really good one. All right, now coming in. All right, I'll read this. All right, coming in at number 7, I'm going with Charlie. All right, number 7, I'm going with Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. Now, this is going to be unpopular to say, but I quite like Charlie's Angels Full Throttle more than the first Charlie's Angels. I really. Oh, I thought you were someone else. My bad. Anyway, that's my friend Josh. Though he was someone else, but anyway. All right. As I was saying, yeah, Charlie's Angels. Anyway, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle it's awesome. I mean, I really got a kick out of it more than the first Charlie's Angels. And here, come on, you got Demi Moore in the bikini. You got Cameron Diaz in bikini. I mean, this is kind of a guy's. This movie is kind of a guy's fantasy right here. To see Demi Moore and Cameron Diaz in the bikini. I mean, come on. Good. And Demi Moore, of course, plays like the villain that's in it. She plays like this character named Madison Lee, who's a former member of the Angels herself, and she accompanies the trio on their mission, and she also has like this drug here as well. I mean, Demi Moore was great in this movie. I really got a kick out of seeing her as a villain. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, you even got the late great. You got the late great Bernie Mac as hold on. Much better. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, of of course, you got Bernie Mac as Bosley. Who didn't like Bernie Mac as Bosley? I mean, come on. Of course, you had the return of Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu. I really got a kick out of Full Throttle, and yeah, it's a shame more people didn't like it, but I think Full Throttle is actually even better than the 2000 one. So if you guys never seen Full Throttle by now, it's a really good one. All right, coming in at number 6 is going to About Last Night. Now, in this film, Demi Moore plays this character named Debbie Sullivan, and it pretty much documents the ups and downs of her relationship with Danny Martin, played by Rob Lowe, following a one-night stand that they share. And so, dang, did I just say that loud? Anyway, the film also stars people like James Belushi and Elizabeth Perkins. And About Last Night is also based on a play as well. I mean, About Last Night is a really good one. I mean, it's a really decent rom-com. You got Rob Lowe was great. I mean, probably one of his better performances. James Belushi was a scene stealer. Elizabeth Perkins. I mean, yeah, About Last Night was a really good one. Like, if you guys never seen the original About Last Night, reason why I say original because years later they remade it with Kevin Hart, so that's kind of why I said original. But anyway, if you guys never seen the original About Last Night, give that one a go. And I kind of like the remake, by the way. The Kevin Hart remake, I kind of got a kick out of that one. Alright. Coming in at number 5 is actually an anime one, and that is Hunchback of Notre Dame. I mean, this is actually one of Disney's most underrated and underappreciated films. I mean, in it, Demi Moore voices the character of Esmeralda. I could never really pronounce her name that well. But she's like this street smart gypsy who ends up befriending the the form role. And there's also like it's a really beautiful animated film. I mean, you know, it's of course based on the novel by Victor Hugo, and I mean, Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's really one of Disney's underrated, underappreciated films. I really got kicked out of this movie. It's really cute. It has cool animation. I really got kicked out of Hunchback of Notre Dame, and has some pretty cool voice casting too. I mean, Jason Alexander was one of the voices. I mean, if you guys never seen Hunchback of Notre Dame yet, particularly the first one, the second one kind of sucked. But the first one, you know, Demi Moore as the voice of Esmeralda is really great casting. I mean, that's pretty much like a Disney princess right there. So, yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame is a really good one. And has some really good music, too. Anyway, coming in at number 4 is going to You Can't Handle the Truth. Number 4 is A Few Good Men. I mean, directed by the always great Rob Reiner. I mean, starring Tom Cruise as Lieutenant Daniel Caffey, who's, of course, his military lawyer defending 2 U.S. Marines charged with killing a fellow Marine in Guantanamo Bay, Naval base in Cuba. And so you got a fellow lawyer named Lieutenant Sid Dr. Joanne Galloway, who ends up convincing him that the accused Marines were most likely carrying out an order from a commanding officer. And so you got Jack Nicholson as a Colonel Nathan R. Rest, who, of course, is trying to stand in the effort to uncover the conspiracy behind the murder. I mean, what can you say about A Few Good Men? Arguably one of the coolest scripts there is. Scripted by Aaron Sorkin. I mean, directed by Rob Reiner. Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, great cast. Jack Nixon's most iconic speech there is. You can't handle the truth. I mean, that line's been kind of spoofed loads of times. Demi Moore was great in this. I mean, if you guys never seen A Few Good Men by now, it's a 90s classic right there. All right. Coming in at number 3 is probably her best performance. Like, if I was to do my 10 favorite performances of hers, this would actually be number 1. My number three favorite Demi Moore movie is going to G.I. Jane. This movie literally made Demi Moore literally shave off her head, and where she of course plays the Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill, and I mean Demi Moore as Jordan O'Neill is a really cool one. I mean she's probably one of the most she's a real badass here. I mean like the way she shaved her head, like how her head was shaved was really cool to watch. And this was like a very uncharacteristic role for Moore, and like J.I.J. is actually is pretty much her most is also considered to be her best performance today. I mean, I don't think she even got an Oscar nomination for this. I think Demi Moore should have scored some sort of Oscar love because I don't think she ever got a nomination for this. But if you guys never seen G.I. Jane yet, it's a really great one. Alright. Alright. Alright, better hurry this up before my computer dies. Coming in at number 2 is another 80s classic and another Brat Pack film, St. Elmo's Fire. I mean, St. Elmo's Fire is one of the most iconic movies of the 80s and has a really great cast around it. You've got Ali Sheedy, Emil Estevez, Judd Nelson, of course, Rob Lowe, Andy McDowell, loads of other. I mean, this movie is, of course, a film about pretty much about friendship, adulthood, and plans of what they're doing after college graduation. I mean, here you of course got Emil Estevez as this character named Kirby, who's like a writer who wants to be a lawyer. You got Andrew McCartney's character Kevin, who's this moody writer who yearns for Demi Moore's character Jules. Then you got, of course, Judd Nelson's character here, Alex, who's like this political aspiration, who pretty much has a girlfriend named Leslie, played by Ali Sheedy. Then you got this quiet girl named Wendy, who's like in love with this guy named Billy, played by Rob Lowe. So lots of interesting characters there. I mean, it's directed by Joe Schumacher, who also went on to direct Batman and Robin and all. St. Elmo's Fire, it has a really iconic song too. I mean, St. Elmo's Fire, really cool song there. I really like the chemistry that all the cast really shared. I mean, that's probably one of the coolest balls there is. I mean, if you guys never seen St. Elmo's Fire, it's, like I said, it's one of the most iconic 80s movies there is. Really cool script, cool performances by the cast. Definitely go check out St. Elmo's Fire. And not to mention, NBC is working on a TV version of it. So, anyway. Alright, now what is Demi Moore's best film of all time? That is an obvious one. That goes to Ghosts. I mean, one of the coolest pottery scenes. I mean, when you think of Ghosts, you automatically think of the pottery scene. Yeah. You remember the song for the pottery moment. I mean, and of course you got great romantic chemistry with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. I mean, of course, this is where Patrick Swayze's character ends up, who of course plays Demi Moore's character, Molly's boyfriend, and he ends up getting killed by a gunshot wound, and then he ends up pretty much becoming like a ghost, and wants to save his girlfriend from from like her own gruesome fate, and yeah, Ghost is such a really iconic one. Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, come on. They're really, like, the pottery scene. Who didn't love that pottery scene? And, yeah, Demi Moore really, her relationship with Patrick Swayze was really great. Like, I literally can't really remember if they were together or not, but Demi Moore was on the I Am Patrick Swayze documentary where she was interviewing, talking about Patrick Swayze and all. And, man, those two really got along. Like, those two really had great chemistry. And Yeah, like if you guys never seen Ghost by now, to me it's Demi Moore's best work. Like I love Ghost, and not to mention it won Whoopi Goldberg her Oscar. But yeah, definitely go check out Ghost. Now, better hurry up before my computer dies. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick right now. 10. Striptease. 9. Innocent Proposal. 8. Bobby. 7. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. 6. About Last Night. 5. Hunchback of Notre Dame. 4. A Few Good Men. 3. G.I. Jane. 2. St. Elmo's Fire. 1. Ghost. Now, better hurry up before my computer dies, so I'll just quickly read some of her stuff, like, I love Now and Then. If you guys never seen Now and Then, that's a really good one. Of course, definitely Not Blind. That movie stunk. Scarlet Letter, One Crazy Night, The Joneses, Mr. Brooks, LOL with Miley Cyrus. There's a The Juror with Alec Baldwin, The Butcher's Wife, The Seventh Sign, Margin Cause, Beavis Butthead Do America, More the Doors, which had Bruce Willis in it, by the way. But let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Demi Moore movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is T Movie signing off.